Lee Christman. Coach, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. Sorry, I'm fighting a cold, so I'm sorry.
You're good. I think it's cold season. A lot of people are fighting it.
Yeah.
Coach, your team's playing some golf at the right time, getting out of the sectional, going to the district. What improvements have you seen from the start of the season, maybe even before the season when you're doing workouts in the summer to now in the fall?
Well, one thing that I think really made the difference this year, in all honesty, is the girls, especially speaking of the varsity girls, they played a lot of tournaments over the summer. So they just didn't wait till August rolled around and to pick up a club. They've been playing in the spring and summer. They've been getting lessons, and they just keep plugging away and working at it.
I mean, this sectional that you guys were in was not easy. You had Canfield in there, who you guys, met a couple of times throughout the season. You had Hathaway Brown, who, ran away with the team victory. And then you had other teams like Solon in there, Aurora. How awesome is it that you guys were able to qualify as a team? And how much did it meet your expectations going in of the girls being able to shoot as well as they did?
It was huge. To be honest with you, and I spoke to one of the captains about this after, I didn't say it before, but I had my doubts as to whether they were going to be able to pull it out because we had so many good teams that we were going up against. We've lost to Canfield 2 matches during the season, which were the only 2 matches we lost. And we also came in second to them in the AAC. So I didn't expect to beat them. We only beat Solon by 1. So I was going in hesitant. I really was hopeful that if we didn't make it as a team, that at least 1 or 2 of my girls would advance as individuals. Emily Kaleva came through with a fantastic score. Obviously, Zoe and Sophia had scores that are very typical, low scores for them, which helped. And then Kate Pendleton, she came through too. So they just kind of all were in sync that day and came through right in the clinch.
Yeah, we talked about that to McElroy, who's from West Branch. One day, it's all it takes, right, to move on. I mean, you talk about losing twice to Canfield to get you in the AAC, but on that particular day, you got them. So before the match starts, I mean, how much do you preach, like, let's take this hole by hole, because at the end of the day, we could beat any team out there if we just focus on ourselves?
Well, it's interesting you ask that because, I don't, it's so easy for me to tell them what to do. I can't do what these girls do. They're phenomenal. But when we were getting off the bus, I said, just remember every stroke counts. Where you think, I'm just going to go up there and hit it in because I'm frustrated or whatever. It might be 1 stroke that makes it or breaks it. And it literally came down to 1 stroke. So, we had that talk, and we had to just, have fun, relax, just play your game and do your best. And they did. And going into the 18th hole, I think I talked to almost every varsity player where I said, let's finish up strong, par this hole, birdie this hole, finish strong. Emily Kaleva birdied it, and the others all parred it. So it was fantastic.
I mean, you talk about your captains. We're going to talk to him in a little bit. Sophia Rivera would have qualified if you didn't as a team, as an individual, with that 82, and she had the top score of the team. Her and Zoe have both been leading this team all season. What has their leadership and the kind of their example meant to the younger girls in this program?
They took this role as captain, I think, very seriously, and they've done a phenomenal job. They pep the girls up, get them all ready to go. They have expectations of the girls that they should have at this age, getting back to them, bringing what they're supposed to bring to the match and everything. They've taken it very seriously, and they've set a fantastic example of, they get lessons all the time. They go out on their own and they practice on their own. And the other girls know that. So they're setting that standard that this is what you do if you want to shoot these scores. They're never, although they're very good at accepting golf the way it is, that some days you just don't have it and some days you do. Even when they do and they shoot a really good score, they still say, man, I could have done this or I could have done that. So they have really, I guess, shown the other players how to have that balance. High expectations, but you can't ever quit and get down on yourself because golf's very hard and every day is different.
Coach, when I look at these scores in the sectional round, 3 out of the 5 of your team had better scores in the back 9 than they did in the front 9.
Mm-hmm.
So when you play 17 matches overall, 15-2 for your team, how much do you attribute to that, to the conditioning that you've had throughout this long season? Your team's played a lot of matches compared to a lot of the other schools around this area. So how much do you think that helped going into the sectional, knowing that, our back 9 was better than the front 9 because we're conditioned?
Yeah, and what's funny is the back 9, in all our opinions, is more difficult than the front 9. But I will say again, I remember last year we played mostly 9-hole matches, and we only lost 1 match last year. And I remember at the end of the year, Sophia Rivera asking me, can we play more 18-hole invitationals and matches? Because I want to be ready for sectionals. So she was thinking already way in advance. And so I spent a lot of time setting up a lot of 18-hole matches. And I think that helped tremendously with their stamina, with their expectations, with their ability to bounce back. Sophia double bogeyed, I think, the first hole at sectionals, and she was upset. And I said, listen, you got 17 holes left. This isn't a big deal. Just bounce back. So that practice of playing those 18-hole matches was huge this year, I think.
All right, this program added 6 freshmen this year and a new assistant coach in Brian Treleski Jr. What does that kind of mean for the future of this program and how much it's growing? You add 6 freshmen. That's got to be huge to the addition of this program and what you see for it in the future years.
Yeah, I was really excited about this because at the beginning of the season, I think we only had 9 players, and then people just kept calling and saying, can I join? Can I join? And I don't do cuts. I try to encourage everybody who wants to play to be able to play. So adding those freshmen is huge. Obviously, having Brian is enormous. My son plays golf with Brian at YSU, and I've known Brian since he was probably 5 years old. Brian brings the skills that I can't bring. I can tell the girls the basics and I can help them with certain things, but Brian can see things that I don't see because he's a phenomenal player. So having him on with us and those girls, they'll go to him now. He's very open. He's very easy to talk to. So the freshman girls feel very comfortable going to him and saying, can you help me with my chipping, or what am I doing with my driver? So I think it's really setting the program in a positive direction. We have a real positive direction going forward, which is really nice,
Coach, the districts this year are held at Brookledge Golf Course up in Cuyahoga Falls. Is there any chance that your team's going to get the opportunity before our district round to go up there and play at all? Because I'm guessing that's a course that a lot of your players are unfamiliar with up there in Cuyahoga Falls.
Right, and it's a difficult course. Actually, Zoe and Sophia and Emily have played it. They played it last year. We made it to districts last year. Kate and Haley have not played it, but actually, we're going up next Tuesday for a practice round. So we're going to take a bus up there and get them out there and practice, and they're looking forward to that. And of course, they, that's the other thing I have to say again is sometimes they'll go on their own. They'll say, I asked my dad to take me up there on Saturday, or I got a Sunday tea time, and they'll go up and they'll do another round just on their own. So they're very hardworking girls.
I've had a chance to sit in on one of your booster meetings as just a spectator. And I noticed really quickly how much you have parents that want this program to succeed as a whole and care about every one of the girls on the team, not just the girls that, live in the house with them, but the girls that are a part of this team. What's it mean to you to have a group of parents that is so dedicated to just your girls and the girls that you coach?
Well, I think, I was thinking about this before this interview. When I was thinking about why is this team strong and why have they gotten to where they've gotten, I really thought it really comes down to the parents. And you're right. We have a lot of parents, all the parents, they don't just say, I want my daughter to do this, or I want my daughter to have this. They want the team to have it. And they're very supportive of the whole team. And the fact that we got the boosters this year, and there's booster members on there that have seniors that are graduating, obviously. And they said, we're still coming back after just to support and be a part of that. It's huge. The parents, first of all, golf is a very expensive sport. buying the balls to the clubs, to the bags. The parents support that. They take them for lessons, which aren't cheap either. And they drive them all over the place and take them to, sometimes on their own, expensive places to golf to just get the practice. Like I said, some of these girls practiced in the summer by playing in, matches, AJGA or whatever they could play in. And those are expensive to put them in. So without the support of the parents, I really don't think this program would be where it is at all.
Coach, you got a week to prepare until districts next week. What are some things that your team does in between matches or invitationals to get ready for the next match?
Well, like last night, I sent out a text. I asked the girls, do you want to play tomorrow? Do you want to play Thursday? Do you want to play both? Do you want to just chip and putt? My thing is, I don't really know. I don't feel like I can tell them what they need all the time. They know, like sometimes I'll suggest, you guys want to go play 9, and Zoe or somebody will say, my chipping hasn't been very good. Can I just chip? And I say, yeah, because that's their game and they know where their weaknesses are for that, point of time. So, we're going to be practicing. It was funny at sectionals. I actually said to the girls when they were all excited that they won, I said, do you understand how much work now we have to do?
Right.
And they were kind of laughing, I said, we have a lot of work to do in 10 days. So they're going to be playing tomorrow at Mill Creek. They'll probably be playing over the weekend a couple times at Mill Creek. We're playing Brookledge on Tuesday. So, they're going to, no matter what happens, they would have put in the work. And that makes me proud. It doesn't even matter if we advance or we don't advance. If they put in the work, it is what it is.
My last question for you, Coach, is, this team all locked in during the meets, but I'm sure there's a lot of fun times because you have a lot of great personalities on this team. So what are some of your favorite memories with these girls, especially kind of the practices and some of the more laid back times with this team?
Yeah, these girls are fun. I mean, they make me laugh. I mean, sometimes I think the parents are wondering what I'm laughing at on the course, but the things they come up with and they say are just so funny. So we've had a blast. They did a team bonding night where they went bowling, and I know they had a good time with that. And they all have unique personalities. They get along very well. They kind of bounce off each other, with the humor, and it's just a relaxed, in my opinion, it's a relaxed, fun atmosphere. And I don't think I could do it any other way. It's high school golf, so it's not anything that I have to be super intense about, beyond wanting to win, obviously, and having them do a good job. But they're just a blast.
Coach, thank you so much for the time today and letting us a little bit of peek inside of this program. We appreciate your time, and we look forward to talking to your captains here pretty soon.
Okay, thank you so much for having me.